Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood knucklehead, and I am back, man. I am back here today to do another podcast. It's been a little bit, but I'm so fucking excited. I don't have a guest today. I do have a bunch of guests lined up, however, but today I just wanted to touch base because I went through huge transformations and breakthroughs the past few weeks, and I just wanted to share my experiences, share my stories a little bit, just throw something out there, and hopefully it resonates with you as an artist, but also as a person, because it feels like sometimes we are just caught in our own cycle, and we don't even realize how much we've buried ourselves based off of all of our agendas, our work schedules, whatever. So I've gone through like a really powerful shift by stepping outside of all that routine, flying to Austin, Texas for a week, and coming back here to Philadelphia with a brand new outlook, a brand new perspective on things. Before I dive into that, I want you to know that it's BANDCAMP Friday. So load up your BANDCAMP carts and hit that purchase button today. And mind you, BANDCAMP is a great way to support artists. Today they waive all of their fees and all of the cuts that they take. PayPal, however, doesn't do that, so they still take a little chunk out of it. But to be honest, man, in this day and age, to be able to pay an artist directly is a wonderful thing for their work, and you'll have it forever. It's going to be in your collection. You can stream it whenever you want. If you're on the internet, off the internet, like it's just the perfect solution. You can buy merch through BANDCAMP. You can buy physical copies that will get shipped to you through BANDCAMP. It's the coolest thing. So today's BANDCAMP Friday. All of the artists you hear today are going to be on BANDCAMP. You can buy their stuff. And along with that, I do have some ways to donate. If you do want to support the podcast, just check the links in the description. There are some affiliate links to things that I use, so it will help me out if you sign on to them as well, one of them being MailChimp. I use that for all of my mailing list stuff and my landing pages and stuff like that. I also use DistroKid to get my music on streaming services, which we all have to do whether we like it or not. But most of all, my passion is YouTube. So if you find my YouTube link, if you're watching this on YouTube, please consider subscribing. It's helping me grow. It's helping my channel grow. And that is my main passion that I'm taking with me forward, and my identity. My identity is a YouTuber. I am a content creator to empower artists, and my main channel of choice, creative outlet of choice, is now going to be YouTube, which is why the podcast is on here. And all that being said, I feel reborn as an artist. And if you're looking for a way to be reborn as an artist, I encourage you to actually abandon where you are for a little bit. Abandon your current artistic routine. This is just what I did. I went to Austin for a week, and I just didn't do anything really creative. I just observed. I was writing a little bit. I was taking some photos. I went to creative spaces. I went to college campuses. I went to museums. I went to nightlife spots. I saw a cover band. I saw a DJ. So I just put myself in that place without really putting the pressure on myself to have to make something with it. And it really recharged me, and I want to get into that in a little bit. But first, I want to like jump into a tune really quick. This tune is a brand new band. I just wrote a review for their new debut EP for Punk News. I'll put a link to that in the description. But this is the first tune off of the new EP of Slugwater. And this tune is called In My Way. Check it out. Slugwater.bandcamp.com, y'all. That tune was called In My Way. I also wrote a Punk News review, like I said. I'm going to put that link in the description. It might be, if you're watching this on YouTube, the links might be in the comments. I try to figure out what looks okay in the YouTube description, because it can look a little all over the place. But Punk News review for that, and that tune was just really rad. Just love how pure the riffs are and how pure the energy is. It's so cool to see new things happening, especially in Brooklyn. So really hype for what comes next for that group. But yeah, let's get back into the Austin trip. So I went to Austin for 7 days. I didn't really have a place to stay. I kind of had cold feet about the trip because I booked it months ago, thinking like, yeah, January, I was thinking, you know what, this year I'm going to say yes to stuff. All of the things that I used to say no to and just kind of pass up and whatever, just stay in I just need to incubate, stay in my bubble as an artist and keep grinding on what I'm grinding to. This time I was just like, you know what, let's just start saying yes to shit. Let's start going places. Let's start doing different things, expanding the identity. And it's so interesting because it's something I talk about all the time in my YouTube channel, is expanding your identity, doing things like that. But even, sometimes with me, like I don't follow through with shit. So I went over there and I stayed at a hostel in downtown Austin. Shout out to the Firehouse Hostel. Definitely recommend that if you're solo traveling, if you want to meet people from all over the world, stay in that hostel. You're going to bunk with like 7 strangers probably. but it's worth it. You definitely want earplugs as well, because that shit bumps to like 3 in the morning or whatever. Or if you have loud mouths like me, like I'll be in the kitchen chatting with people from Australia and British Columbia till 6 in the morning or something like I did. But that space where I was so uncomfortable in the beginning in terms of I've never done that before. I've never really flown somewhere by myself. I've never stayed in a hostel. I've never been to Texas. So all of these things were brand new to me. And it couldn't have been more enlightening, empowering, and just such a great experience to connect with other people. Throwing myself in the pool and getting myself to swim. And I think this is something that would benefit a lot of artists if they just throw themselves out there in some weird kind of way. The first time I remember doing something like that was just getting in my car and driving aimlessly and going to open mics that I could find along the way. That was so empowering and liberating. So there was just something that clicked with me where it was like I was getting so much energy, even though I was barely sleeping. I was getting so much energy by just being a tourist, by being out there and meeting people and being in an environment that I didn't know anything about. So I would just walk around with my head up, looking people in the eyes when I was meeting them. Hey, what do you like to do here? What's something I should check out? Where are you from? A lot of people in downtown Austin, coincidentally, are not from downtown Austin or Austin in general, which is cool. But it really resonated with me that I was growing up such an introvert, such a socially anxious person, that I realized this was a choice. It was a choice for me to be like this. I was conditioned and I conditioned myself to be like this, to play it safe, to not want to be in my bubble or whatever. So to take this leap and to go out there, it really expanded my knowledge of who I am and the type of person that I want to be. And I want to be the type of person that meets people. I want to be a friendly person. So it was really just so enlightening and empowering to put myself in that space. And every day I woke up, I went to Voodoo Donuts and the cafes, and then I would go walk around museums, and then during the day I would check out What, Where, When Austin, this Instagram page that had events and stuff, and I would just pick one and I would go to it. I went to No Comply Skate Shop, I went to Cloud Tree Studios for a graffiti hip-hop showcase, I went to all types of stuff, and once hostel folks were like, hey, you're cool, come hang out, then I was hanging out with them at bars and stuff. So I became just socially more comfortable, and that to me is just something that I wanted to share with you. If you're in a place right now where you feel like you're going 2 steps forward, 3 steps back as a person creatively, think about a way where you can just hit the eject button a little bit. Not a lot of us have the means to do that, but even if it's just taking a car trip for a weekend or whatever, just doing something away from the grind can really put things in perspective when we step back. So with that, I'm going to jump into another tune here. This is another one of my great friends, my brother Mike in Nihiloceros. Shout out to him. I saw him the other day at the War Park show in Brooklyn. That was so much fun. I'll talk about that in a minute, but he's got a new record out and it's really cool. It's called Dark Ice Balloons, and you got to go to nihiloceros.bandcamp.com. This was the first single that I also wrote a Punk News review for. This tune is called Skipper. Check it out.
Drink from wrinkled hands, kiss the water's edge, float the sea up dead, trim the Nile instead. adventure ever framed. No skipper has no name, no mother afraid. Ice and cold gateway, broken home of slave. Violins they stay, sick with captain's play. There's a home sky where mountains once stood to wait. Paid with coins too late, sold for charms and snakes. Short the toll's path, cross black sand and tundra swept. All the rowboats sit frozen in shallow bays. All the rowboats lost battles into the waves. Lost into the waves. We lost to the waves. Skipper with no name sailed me to my permanent place. Skipper with no name sailed me to what ends. Skipper with no name, this adventure ever framed. No skipper has no name, no marks remain. Drink from wrinkled hands, kiss the water's edge, float this sea of dead, drain the Nile instead. Styx has overflown, torrents of sin they fed, paid with coin in hand, sold for charms well spent.
All right, that tune was called Skipper. Really stoked for that. Dark Ice Balloons is the new album, and it's nihiloceros.bandcamp.com. I'm going to have a link to all of these in the podcast descriptions. But yeah, lot of cool stuff. Cool new stuff coming out of Brooklyn, y'all. And speaking of Brooklyn, I was just there playing a show with War Park. Was that yesterday? No, it was 2 days ago. But that was crazy because my dumbass thought there was 31 days in April. I know there's a whole song. I never learned it. I never paid attention. I'm very week to week. I don't know what's going on. So I flew back from Texas on April 30th, thinking there was going to be like a day in between April 30th and May 1st, which is our show. Turns out there wasn't a day in between, so I flew in from Texas the night of the 30th, pretty much the morning because I got back so late, and then woke up the next day, pretty much loaded up the van and drove to New York to play the show. It was a real light switch moment where it's like, all right, you were that tourist identity, flip that into now you're going on tour for a day. But for me, it was really about, and something that I've been trying to keep in perspective is how am I going to keep this identity that I built when I was in Austin? How am I going to keep that now that I'm coming back to Philly? And that's been my, I don't know, mission, goal. That's just been in the forefront of my brain. Like, I want to bring this new version of me into the environment that was so conditioned to the older version of me. And I'm looking at the month ahead here, and those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can see this little calendar I pulled up, and it's just like, you know, this Tuesday, I'm going to be putting up a mural tomorrow. This Tuesday, I'm going to be playing a solo acoustic show at the neighborhood art gallery, Tarkin Rec Center. You guys are invited if you want to come see my dad's paintings and the Northeast Philly Art Club at Tarkin. You can check out the art gallery, and I'm going to play some tunes. So that's Tuesday. And then the following week, I'm playing a Knucklehead punk show, the first time since November 2019. So like almost 5 years. So, and then later I have a couple, and then the next week, 2 War Park gigs. So for the first time since I can remember, in 1 month, I'm going to be playing a show in 3 different forms, by myself, with my punk band, and with War Park. And it's just like, wow. Amazing how this could happen after I stepped away from being an artist altogether. So I say all of this to say, sometimes the universe just answers the hard work we're doing once we kind of step away from the hard work of it. Does that make sense? Sometimes when we're putting it out there, we're putting it out there, and we feel like we're not good enough to get it back yet. We're keep like grinding on it. We're trying to get results. Sometimes we have to just like feel it, man. We have to feel like we deserve results. We feel into that faith that something is coming. It's coming back. Because let me tell you, man, it's taken everything for me to get this punk band together, to find a drummer, to find people to play with, to find people to learn my music, to find people that have similar music tastes as me. And it's taken everything here in Philly, years, you know, so Craigslist ads, talking to this person, talking to that person, like going to shows, networking. And it wasn't until I kind of like stepped back into like, okay, I guess I just have to learn how to mix and master myself. Like that's when things kind of started happening. So long story short, sometimes we're in our own way by constantly thinking we need to make it happen. That implies that we actually have control over it all when we don't. We only have control over our energy and, you know, what we're putting out there. But we can't be so fixated on results and validation. And that was a powerful lesson that I also learned this week. By stepping away from it all and looking at the world that I'm coming back to, looking at this calendar that I'm coming back to now. And also something that I follow Clark Kegley, a YouTuber, and something that he said is usually the state you're in right now is a product of the work you did 90 days ago. Okay, so where you were at 90 days ago, that's kind of the version you get to today. I don't know if that translates for you, but it definitely clicked with me because I remember 90 days ago, which is about, 3 months? The version I was 3 months ago, you know, February, like I was very much grinding, man, grinding on shit. So it really feels cool to not be in that grinding mindset and to start feeling like, oh my gosh, things are working out. I don't need to keep feeling like, you know, I just need to grind to make everything happen. So yeah, my state of mind right now is I've never been more confident in myself. I've never been more confident in my path as a YouTuber and as a content creator. I know things are going to happen for me. All throughout Austin, the people that I was meeting, and honestly, the reason I went down there was to be a part of the Full-Time Purpose Mastermind, which is the program, the entrepreneurship program that I signed on to start my own business, to be like in control of my own destiny, kind of, to tap into my purpose and to figure out how to make my purpose work. And my purpose is to be an artist and to share what I'm learning as an artist that helps other artists. And it's never been more clear. Like, before this, I was kind of like, is this working? Are people digging this? You know, I was very insecure. And I've never been more secure in this path. From that, so I'm going to shout out Full-Time Purpose and that mastermind. That was so incredibly timely, inspiring. And the mission for me now is to integrate, to keep this faith, to keep this confidence, because I'm not really looking for how many views this video gets or how many downloads this podcast gets. Like, I know every person that tunes into this is going to take something away from this, because I know that this is powerful shit, and I know that I am speaking to a version of myself that needed to hear this kind of shit. So hopefully that's someone like you, and hopefully this is starting to sink in a little bit. I'm very much speaking off the cuff right now. I don't have any notes. I just wanted to come on here, hit record before I go to visit the University of Pennsylvania's encampment for Palestine liberation, which I plan on getting a case of water and going over there later today. So I'm trying to cram this in while it's BANDCAMP Friday and while I have this story to share. So with that, somebody that I did find to join me on this journey of being a knucklehead and the Knucklehead Punk Band is my good friend right now, Ryan. And Ryan has a whole nother project, whole nother band. The dude is like, he's a total musician, a total artist, and he's doing awesome things. So I want to shout him out and his other project, which is called Strange Company. And we're actually going to be playing one of his tunes when we play in a couple weeks, which I'm super excited about. I love being in the punk band and being able to like share the mic with people. That's always been my dream, is to have more than one like lead singer. I didn't want to be like the lead singer all the time because of Pinhead Gunpowder and bands like that. I love the bands that shared the lead vocals. So anyway, this is a tune we're going to be playing in a couple weeks down at Ortlieb's on the 15th. This tune is called Leave It Alone. Check it out. StrangeCompanyOfficial.bandcamp.com. That's where you want to go to pick up the debut EP called Angle of Repose. Really cool stuff there. 4 tracks, kind of just like the new Slugwater EP. It's just really rad to see new shit coming out. Yeah. Last thing I guess I want to touch base on is just these encampments that are occupying college campuses around the country now. I believe we're up to like 40 different states in the United States here have encampments for Palestine liberation, and it's so fucking awesome. I couldn't be more proud of kids today. And it's so interesting to me that it's coming at a time where they're trying to ban TikTok. And I was sitting in the kitchen with my brother yesterday, and I was kind of talking to him, and I was like, why do you think they want to ban TikTok? And he was like, well, they said it's like not safe. You can get your information stolen. And I guess there's like, they're affiliated with some sort of, I don't know, online shopping thing where it's not like secure or something like that. And I was like, okay, but on the other hand, the people that have TikTok are your generation. He's 17 years old. Your generation are the ones that are using TikTok. They're broadcasting things. They're speaking up on TikTok. And look what they're doing. Look what's happening. They're showing each other what's going on over the country. And it's such a coincidence that in his education in school now for high school, he's learning about Vietnam and how Vietnam was broadcasted and how it was protested in colleges. And we had no business really being over there. And we have no business really doing what we're doing in Israel. We have no business giving them all of the money and the green light to do whatever the fuck they want. It's just unbelievable that this is kind of happening. So I just kind of like painted that picture for him, and it's just, and you could tell that the things that we're teaching the youth and the things that the youth are teaching each other are very different. And it's really cool that no matter what, they have this fucking spirit. So I'm just so proud of it, and I'm going to check it out later today. I'm going to try to edit this and upload it as quickly as I can so I can walk over, buy a case of water, and drive down to UPenn and hopefully give it out to those brave kids down there, or over there. It's kind of just west of me. Well, south too. So I encourage you, if you're a millennial like me, if you're an elder like me, maybe you don't have the ability to sit there in a camp or whatever. But walk over there, man. Bring a case of water. Do what you can to figure out how to bring that energy back into your circle, to your neighborhood, how to speak up and speak out, whether it's on social media, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on stage in your musical artistic expression. Let's figure out a way to get people to stop ignoring this. The protests I went to were insanely beautiful, but after a while, just like anything, people gotta go back to like making money and stuff. Like we can't just, well, I'm not saying we can't, but most of us are not able to protest all the time and kind of neglect other responsibilities and stuff because some of us have, children, rent, whatever. So it gets to a point where it's like, man, like I wish there was something more we could do. And to be honest, like I think this is the solution. And you're seeing how the police force and how those in authority are looking at this, how they're treating these kids. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that the police have already been called here in Philadelphia to disband these encampments. And I heard that they have refused. They have refused involvement to do what they're doing. So I'm not sure what the mayor is going to do. I'm not sure what the scene looks like. I just got back in town the other day. So I'm going to head over to UPenn later and follow me on Instagram to learn a little bit. but also follow Philly Palestine Coalition if you're here. Follow Black Lives Matter social medias. They are, broadcasting this kind of stuff as well. Figure it out, man. Figure out how to keep spreading the word. Tell your uncle, tell your grandparents, tell your family members that this is just fucking unbelievable. So with that, I'm gonna play us out here. We're gonna have a tune by the incredible band known as Cop Out, which is fronted by Joey Steele, who I'm proud to call a friend, and is somebody that, when I was a teenager, he was the first person that I saw really speaking up and speaking out on stage. At the time, I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know that was allowed to just go on stage and just kind of speak your piece. I thought when you were in a band, you just had to play. But this is just my ignorance of being a kid. So through knowing Joey and working with him on his podcast and watching his bands develop, he's always has a message no matter what, and it's really awesome and inspiring to see how he's able to incorporate that into his music, into his performance, into his artwork here. And the band Cop Out has a new, and this is something that I love about Cop Out, because they have found a way to make Joey Steele positive. So shout out to Al for making Joey, pushing him to get into his melodies a little bit, pushing him to even do a ska song. What? It's just so incredibly awesome to just see what has become with this group Cop Out, and it's positive music, it's anti-capitalist music, it's unbelievably timely for this day and age, of course. And the tune that really hit me, and you might have to look up the lyrics on Bandcamp, it's copoutpunks.bandcamp.com, but the tune that really hit me, that I really loved, is called Waste Case. Rip on, everybody. I will talk to you soon.
You carry